We're going to work on the line art technique together, a super attractive and relatively simple technique that really makes clothes stand out. I'm going to work on a ready-made garment, which really helps improve your skills. In fact, being able to work on ready-made clothes will help you understand things like darts and cuts much better. When you repeatedly work on these ready-made clothes, it's very different from just working on a plain, flat piece of fabric. The first important point, which I've mentioned before, is that with a ready-made garment, you absolutely need to put a protective layer between the area you want to work on and the layer underneath. This is both to make the surface firmer under your hand and to prevent the color from transferring to the layer below. And the second issue is line art, which is actually a style where you paint with a series of lines. With these lines, you can even add some effects in certain places, which I'll talk about later when we get to the actual work. But the really important thing is the angle at which you hold the brush in your hand. The more upright the brush is, and the more consistently you apply pressure and move your hand, the better your results will be. This way, your work will come out cleaner, except in places where you want to have darker or thicker lines. In those cases, you can achieve those lines by repeating strokes and applying more pressure with your brush, which I'll explain when we get to the actual work. As I mentioned before, for transferring the design, you can use carbon paper, a thermal pen, or any method you're comfortable with, which we've already talked about. You can use those methods to transfer your design onto your clothing or fabric. For the line art, I've chosen black paint right now on a white tank top. What I need is to put enough black paint on my palette, just enough so it doesn't dry out too quickly. I also pay attention to the thickness and dilution of the paint. I start by preparing a suitable paint mixture. There's absolutely no need for any extra binder or any other medium, just the paint itself, along with a small amount of water to get the right consistency. I highly recommend making only a very small amount at a time so it doesn't dry out on you. Mixing the paint isn't a big deal at all, but this specific type of paint requires a bit of patience. Paints are expensive, so it's better to manage things in a way that you waste as little paint as possible. As you can see, I've chosen a relatively wet brush. This is a size 4 brush. You can use a finer or larger brush depending on your design. I dip the tip of the brush in the paint and start working vertically. I rest my hand on the fabric in a way so that I can fully support both the brush and my hand on the fabric in a way that it doesn't slip, and so that the speed and pressure stay consistent. I have complete control over it. Then I start drawing the outline. In areas where you need to apply more pressure with the brush, do it very slowly and increase the pressure so the line becomes thicker and more solid. And in places where you need to work more delicately, one thing I always emphasize is to take it slow and try not to follow your model step by step. Sometimes use your own creativity. This will help you build confidence and really improve your skills so that eventually you'll be able to create your own designs. You don't always have to work from a model or depend on having a reference design in front of you. With your own mindset and creativity, you can create some really beautiful works. And this happens step by step. The first step is to have the courage at some point to set your model aside completely and use your own imagination. maybe add or remove some elements, or make some changes here and there. This really helps those who want to do these kinds of creative works and want to continue in this field, succeed, and make progress in it. When you're working on some areas that are wet and need time to dry, you can move on and work on another part for the time being. Just be careful not to get your hands dirty or accidentally touch the wet paint with your hands. Okay, one really important point is that when you want to work on the lines, make sure to drag the paint a bit so that between the lines, right where your line extends, the paint is also applied there, between those lines. In some places where the line needs to be thinner, use less pressure with your hand. Where it needs to be thicker, apply more pressure, or even go over that section repeatedly with the tip of your pen until you get the thickness you want in the end. When you want even more thickness, you can even tilt your pen a bit more on its side. I'd really like for this specific part right here to be just a little bit thicker.